Hello, movie fans. Thank you very much for watching. Always appreciate you guys. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to my top 10 best movies of 2025. As it turned out, 2025 turned out to be a great year for movies. We had some excellent films come out all throughout the year. Every now and then, a few stinkers, a few disappointments, but we'll get to those in another video. But for now, I want to focus on the best of the year, my favorites, and if you want to go ahead, leave me your own picks for your favorites of the year in the comment section. I'm always interested in stuff like that. Please remember this list is completely subjective. And with that said, I want to get into some honorable mentions that almost made the list because this year was stacked with great films and there can only be 10. But I do want to mention movies like Companion, also Together, also F1. I really enjoyed Highest to Lowest. Sinners almost made the cut. I also want to mention Avatar, Fire and Ash, Predator, Badlands. Honestly, I could go on naming some more films, but in the interest of keeping this short and sweet, I'm going to cut to the chase and start with our number 10, The Phoenician Scheme, from director Wes Anderson. This movie is about the adventures of an arms dealer and swindler played by Benicio del Toro as the character of Anatoly. It's an excellent comedic performance. You also have Mia Thrippleton playing his daughter. He's trying to reconnect with his daughter, but has an odd way of doing it, but still he is trying. You also have Michael Cera in this as a Norwegian entomologist and tutor who kind of steals the show every now and then. Great actors all throughout this movie. You got Tom Hanks in a small part, as well as Bryan Cranston, Jeffrey Wright. Willem Dafoe pops up. Of course, he's part of the stable of actors that Wes Anderson always works with. You also got Bill Murray, Benedict Cumberbatch, Scarlett Johansson, and because this is a Wes Anderson film, you can expect that offbeat, signature, quirky humor that doesn't seem to be for everyone, but I really dig. And the main draw to his films for me are the characters. I always dig the characters. They're always very kind of eccentric and exaggerated versions of real people. But what threw this over and got it in the top 10, it's Del Toro's performance. It's one of his best performances in years, and I think it's his best comedic performance since his turn in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And so, yeah, I love this film. I think he's great in it, and it makes my number 10. Making the number 9 spot on the list, we have a documentary from Colin Hanks you can find on Amazon Prime, John Candy, I Like Me. When John Candy passed away in 1994, that was a gut punch to a lot of people that grew up watching him. When you watch a John Candy film, you don't just laugh, you belly laugh. And even if he's not the main character, you look forward to his scenes, whether it's a movie like Splash or even if it's a movie he stars in, like The Great Outdoors, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Who's Harry Crumb, Delirious, Summer Rental. You can't go wrong with any of his films. It also shows a couple of clips from some of his early work he did on SCTV. That was the Canadian version of Saturday Night Live back in the day. And plenty of clips from some of his classic movies. One of the clips that comes to mind the most because it always kind of stays with me is the very last scene, the very last frame of 1989's Uncle Buck when he's saying goodbye to his niece and he puts his hand up. And just thinking about it makes me want to cry a little. Yeah, when he puts his hand up, it's like he's saying goodbye, and I promised myself I wouldn't cry. Oh, God. All right, I'm not gonna do it. Number 8, Frankenstein, from director Guillermo del Toro, Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein. You got Christoph Waltz in there as well as Heinrich and as the monster, Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth as Elizabeth. This is a fantastic adaptation. I just love old school horror. I love gothic horror, and Guillermo del Toro was the perfect choice to direct this film. He really sank his teeth into this material, as of course we all knew he would, because this is his wheelhouse. The guy loves monsters, and of course you get a bit of the sympathetic angle when it comes to the creature himself, but it doesn't stray from showing you the horror, the violence, the gore, which is really what I was kind of worried about. But he gave it to me. For a horror movie, it might be a bit on the long side for some, but remember, this is a period piece based on like a very old book, and so there's a lot of meat on the bone, and you get your money's worth with this one. And so, yeah, highly recommend it if you love horror, if you love well-made gothic horror. You can't go wrong with 2025's Frankenstein. it makes the list. And at the number 7 spot, I have Rian Johnson's third Knives Out film, Wake Up Dead Man. I absolutely love this movie. I love a good murder mystery. I love the first two films. I think this one might be a contender for the best one. This one is set in a church setting where you have a congregation of a bunch of nutty characters that attend the sermons of an even nuttier priest. You have Josh Brolin as this very crazy, whacked out priest that is pretty much off the deep end. And so Josh O'Connor's character is a priest that comes in to kind of steer the ship on the right path. But then the murder happens, and then Benoit Blanc to the rescue. And Daniel Craig doesn't show up for a good chunk of the movie, but when he finally shows up, the movie really does kind of take off. Like the first two films, you have oddball characters, you have clever, well-written, funny, witty dialogue, and discussions about philosophy and morality that I found engrossing. Plus, you have a murder mystery that is great at pulling the rug out from under you right when you think you got it figured out, which is really the mark of a great murder mystery film. And so yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, if you like the last two, you got to check this out and don't miss out on it. Josh Brolin is great. I really hope that he gets some kind of recognition for his work in this, because the guy is overdue for some kind of little golden statue, and the guy's excellent in this. He really kind of stole the movie for me, and I look forward to all of his scenes whenever I rewatch it. So yeah, check this out. It's great. Number 6, The Life of Chuck, from director Mike Flanagan, a director that loves to play in the Stephen King sandbox. Just look at Gerald's Game or Dr. Sleep for that. But once again, you have another very well-made adaptation of one of the works of the great Stephen King. You have the character of Chuck France, who is a guy that nobody seems to know why his billboard is everywhere when the universe seems to be coming to an end. This movie is told in a 3-act structure, but in reverse. And so you get the third act first, and the second act, well, second, and act 1 at the end. And so you do see the life of this guy, but backwards in a way, but then it kind of comes around full circle. Tom Hiddleston is not just Loki anymore. This guy is meant to be a star. And this movie is proof that this guy needs to get more work and more starring roles, because he's great in this movie. Also, the character of Chuck Krantz is a bit of a dancer, and the dancing scenes in this movie are a lot of fun to watch. I found them delightful. I was charmed by them, and this movie really took me by surprise. Sometimes I don't need everything spelled out for me. I just want a good experience, and I got a great experience with this film. Making the number 5 spot from director Noah Baumbach, the director of Marriage Story, Frances Ha, The Squid and the Whale, talking about Jay Kelly. You got George Clooney as the title character, and Adam Sandler as his manager and agent, character of Ron. This film is a very funny, very moving comedy drama about a movie star that begins to realize that maybe there's more to life than making movies. When he decides to follow his daughter to Europe because she's going on a trip with this guy and a bunch of other people, he's starting to realize what he's been missing out on in terms of family. As a dad myself, whenever it comes to stories about parents and their kids, that's something that I can easily connect with and relate with. And so by the time this was over, I was very touched, I was very moved, and Adam Sandler is excellent in this movie. Although he's not the main star, he's pretty much the co-lead, and so you get plenty of Sandler in this if you're a Sandler fan. And also, if you're someone that could use a reminder of just how great George Clooney can be as an actor, check this movie out. The guy is more than just a movie star. He's a world-class actor, and I really hope that guy gets some kind of recognition for this movie, as well as Sandler. Number 4, One Battle After Another, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. Many of us know his work: Boogie Nights, There Will Be Blood, Hard 8. In the film, you have Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn. You also have, once again making the list, Benicio del Toro. You also have Chase Infinity, Tanaya Taylor. This film is a comedic thriller where you have Leonardo DiCaprio playing another great part, giving another awesome performance as this bomb maker slash paranoid pothead slash revolutionary who is a part of a group called the French 75. Early in the film, Leo's lady, played by Tanaya Taylor, who is one of the revolutionaries, makes an enemy out of Colonel Lockjaw, played by Sean Penn, a character that is trying to get into this very elite kind of, I guess, white supremacy club that he really wants to be a part of, but in order to do that, he has to tie up some loose ends. After years of living off the grid, Leo's character Bob has to come out of hiding and try and save his daughter, who gets herself in danger. Her character is played by Chase Infinity in the role of Willa. I also want to say that it was also really cool to see some of the places that they shot this film, because some of it was shot in my hometown. And so it's just cool to say, hey, I recognize that bridge. I've driven on that bridge, or Hey, that's Downtown. Number 3, my favorite horror film of the year from director Zach Krager, the director of 2022's Barbarian Weapons. This movie was freaking fantastic. You got a bunch of kids that leave their houses at the same time at 2:17 a.m. 17 kids in the town of Maybrook, Pennsylvania, just mysteriously disappear. The movie also has a supernatural element to it. It's dark, it's disturbing, it's a bit unnerving and unsettling, but there's also a bit of humor in there as well that I really dug, and great performances, fantastic direction, a great script, very on point with the editing, and it just looks awesome. The way it was shot, everything about this movie just screams great film. When it comes to horror movies, even the very good ones, most of the time, they can be quite predictable, and so I'm watching this and I'm thinking, I don't know where this is going to go, how it's going to end, and I just found that refreshing. Number 2, The Long Walk, from director Francis Lawrence, director of Constantine, I Am Legend, The Hunger Games, based on a Richard Bachman book from 1979. Richard Bachman, aka Stephen King. So once again, Stephen King makes the list. This film takes place in an alternate 1970s dystopia where you have 50 boys walking a marathon for a prize of cash and one wish should they be the last one standing. Each of them have to keep a pace of 3 miles per hour with people behind them holding guns as they walk, and should they fall behind or slow down, that's the end of them. And so, yeah, it gets pretty grim. It's a violent film, it's a tragic film, it's sad, it's a bit shocking, it can be gory, but if that's the kind of thing that you come to the movies for, look no further. The Long Walk has all that stuff and plenty of drama to go with it. Taking the number 1 spot of my favorite film of 2025 is a film that after I saw it in the theater, I immediately wanted to go back and see it again. From director Ari Aster, director of Hereditary, Midsommar, Dream Scenario, Beau is Afraid, a neo-western thriller, Eddington, stars Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal. Whether he's Commodus in Gladiator or Joker in Joker, Joaquin Phoenix is always mesmerizing, playing these despicable characters that you wouldn't want to hang out with, but it's just a lot of fun to watch them screwing up their lives. And, it's like a car wreck. You want to turn your head, but you can't look away. That's Eddington. It's a story that takes place during the pandemic in this New Mexico town in May of 2020, where you have Joaquin as this sheriff, Joe Cross. In the film, Phoenix's character, the sheriff, has a bit of a feud with the mayor, Ted Garcia, played by Pedro Pascal, who is all about enforcing the mask mandate, and you get a real sense of Phoenix's character very early on when he goes into a grocery store and doesn't want to wear a mask, or even when other cops around him are like, hey man, there's a mask mandate. Also in the film, you have Emma Stone as the character of Louise, wife of the sheriff. You have the character of Vernon, a cult leader played by Austin Butler. And you also have themes of domestic terrorism, paranoia. It tackles a bit of Black Lives Matter with a bunch of kids trying to protest after the George Floyd incident. In a nutshell, this is the kind of movie that I love, when a film can hold a mirror up to society and show us just how ugly we can be. That's the power of cinema. That's the beauty of film, and I love when movies get real like this. Pedro Pascal never lets me down. The guy is great in this movie as well. And Joaquin Phoenix, I know the guy already has an Oscar, but you know what? Give the guy another nomination because the guy deserves it. The guy is great, terrific in this, and love this film. Thank you all very much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next classic movie review or the next list video. Thank you very much. Peace out. God bless. Take care.